Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt, man! All right! Episode 139 of Shirt Show! We're still on the show floor at ISS Long Beach in California! Let's go!
Hey,
Very handsome. Hey,
my man.
my main man.
So first things first, D. Let's talk ailments.
Hmm.
How are your ribs?
Sore as fuck.
Can you go like this? Can you raise your arms above your
Yeah.
head?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's important.
I mean, it hurts, but I can do it. It hurts way worse to cough or sneeze.
Real quick, can you tell me an abbreviated version of that story? Because I've heard it like 25 times. All you do is call me and tell me and complain about it. Just what happened again?
It's not true at all.
Okay, it's not. Yeah. So I've never heard this story. Tell me what happened again.
Oh, okay. So I took my kids to the water park, and it's like an indoor water park. So it was pretty cool. It was the first time being there. They have this cool pool that you can like start swimming inside and then go outside, and it's like negative outside. So it's kind of cool to be like freezing as fuck outside the water. But they have this really big water slide, but it's like pitch black inside. Like as you're going down, you can't see anything. It's total darkness.
I don't like that. I don't
like that either anymore. So me and my daughter go down on like a double tube, and it's totally fine. And I mean, it's like fast and whatever, and you can't see what you're doing and whatever, but it's a big tube and there's two of us.
But
so it's kind
because
of,
you had your daughter, you weren't scared. Like you
right,
were
I wasn't
okay.
scared. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I took her down, and then she's like, I want to do it again, but I want to do it solo. And I was like, okay. So we took two separate tubes. She goes totally fine. I get on mine and go. Well, me on a solo tube fucking hauls ass down a water slide just because of like science. And I hit the first, like I said, you can't tell when a corner is coming or a loop or anything. So I hit the first corner and I almost go completely upside down, but I'm like holding on. And then I hit the next corner and it throws me off the tube. And then there's another like turn right after that I didn't obviously see coming. And I smashed into it wicked hard. And my arm smashed into my side and I felt my ribs crack. And then I got the wind knocked out of me. And I had the tube like on top of me, just like can't breathe, like groaning, sliding down the water slide the rest of the way.
Let me guess the name of the ride. Is it called the torture tube?
That's a different device, but I mean,
how many people are hurt on this thing like every single day? You know what I mean? It sounds pretty bad.
So yeah, I've been achy since then for sure.
Well, you and me both, dude, because man, like if you don't know this, my back is in the world's worst shape. Like nobody's had a worse back. I need probably a total back transplant if they do those, because
you had about a week back.
Yeah. Is that your dad joke?
No, but yeah.
Yeah, dude, like it's, I don't want to complain though, because it could be worse. It
can always be worse. You could be on fire.
It's funny how I just contradicted myself. I said, I have the world's worst back. And then I just said it could be worse. But people have been so kind, and without all of the support, that I don't know how I would have made it through so far.
Right.
And my most recent gift is from Stephen Farrig over at Campus Sync. He cares about me and he wants to make sure that I have a toilet.
You can get up off the toilet?
Yeah, that I know how to, in case I get stuck there. He didn't want that to happen.
You can't fall off. I think what that's actually for, hold that up again.
Yeah.
Those are actually handles for Joanne, so you guys can go number 3. So like if you're sitting, and then she can hold the handles and hold herself up to number 3.
I've never heard of number 3. This is new. I've lived. Well, no, it would be.
Yeah, number 3. You can go number 2, and then she can go number 1 on top of you, and it would be number 3.
Oh, you're adding them together.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. They're just handles.
Okay, well, cool. Well, I'll ask her if she wants to do that later, and
Okay, cool.
she's gonna look at
Be
me
down.
and she'll say, "No, thank you, no, thank you, Andy. That's why would you think of that?" And
Explore your possibilities, Andy.
I'll say it wasn't my idea. It was not my idea. But because of my whole situation here, I had to leave Long Beach. As you know, I had to leave early. What happened was we had recorded on Friday, went to our happy hour, went to Din Din. I went back to the hotel. Me and Joe did. She fell asleep. I did not. Bought some tickets at like 3 a.m., drove to LAX, flew home to the comforts. You know how that is? Like, if you're hurt and you're not feeling well, there's no place.
Crawling in your own bed.
It immediately went from a 10.10, an 11. It went from an 11 to a 10. You know what I mean? So it was just like maxed out pain, but it wasn't maxed plus.
Right.
So it just felt better. And so I was glad and happy to be home. And I just laid there. I literally didn't do anything for 1, 2, 3, something like that, several days. Now they got me on decompression tables where they, tear you apart like that.
Right. Have we had that discussion on here before? How that's like an ancient torture device where they like stretch you out.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're using.
That has to feel good for like the first couple seconds.
You mean at first when they say, "Hey, we're going to torture you," you're
right. Like there's two like guys with like fucking burlap hoods on, like cackling, and they're like cranking some little wheel.
I was imagining almost like 2 horses running the other way, opposite directions.
Yeah,
they did that too.
That would suck. That'd be too fast. I want to be slowly stretched apart.
Oh, I see. Yeah, just make all the pain last really long.
Right, make it last. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you do it like that, then it's at first it feels good. You're like, "Hey, I like this."
I want a little good before,
That makes sense. You're smart. You're smart like that. But so I went home and I left you alone and you had to do the show alone. And I know it was like the best show ever. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Ha, ha, ha. Fun times. Lots of good, really intelligent conversation.
Yeah. Stories were like concise and to the point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like no wasted time. It was efficient.
Right. It was efficient as fuck.
And, everybody loved it. And I'm glad. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that it worked out that way. So that's cool. But I missed you. And
I fucking missed you so much. Like seriously, like not trying to be a dick or whatever. This isn't a thing. This isn't a bit. It was weird not doing it with you. And it was weird doing fucking quick takes by myself.
Oh yeah. How did you? I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
They were sad takes is what they were.
Well, okay.
It's just not the same.
Yeah, I can't imagine doing it without you.
I mean, it was a great episode. It was flawless.
Like we said. Tons of laughter, tons of super efficient.
Other than you not being there, I mean, it was sad.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe I should just at the beginning come on, say hi, and then just get the fuck out, and then you could.
I mean that's probably just enough, honestly. Like that's probably the perfect amount of what I need to get through.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll give that a shot next time. But back to the happy hour thing before we get on to our sponsors. It was so great seeing everyone. I definitely didn't have time to say hello to very many people because it was just so crowded. In fact, one time I remember you
couldn't if you wanted to because you couldn't move.
I was just going to say, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go over there to the other side, like the other side of the bar. And I started to go. And it's like when you're at like a show and you're down in the pit or whatever, and the people are just like fucking, it was wild. And so I couldn't get over there. I was trapped basically.
Yeah. Well, we want to say thank you to everyone who came out and it was a great time, but we didn't anticipate the space and the amount of people. So we have to get a bigger spot next time or do something a little different. And they weren't prepared for they wanted to like take people's beer orders like with a waiter walking around. And
yeah, I think that all things considered, they did a great job. We
oh
said
yeah,
that
they
when
did an amazing job.
And by the way, we tipped them like $1 million or something because they're like, guys, this is, you know, it was overwhelming for them. And
right. Well, the funny thing is he was so like nice and like super appreciative and like whatever. And then he got us back with those hot wings.
Yeah. At the end, he's like, hey, can I get you guys something like something to eat or whatever?
He's like,
and,
yeah, I have this new hot sauce I'm working on for wing sauce I'm working on. Will you guys try these? And we were like, yeah.
And it was one of those wing sauces where you take the first bite and you're like, oh, cool. Like I can do this. Yeah, it's delicious. And then in about 47 seconds into
my tongue swelled.
You're like, we didn't have anything to drink. And you're like, I need something to drink. And then so he placed an order for something and it couldn't come
never
fast
came.
enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Did it? Oh yeah. It was bad. So
yeah, that was their revenge.
And then he came over and he said, hey, how are the wings or whatever? Is it too spicy or is it too hot? And you wanted to be nice. And you're like, no, it's perfect, man.
That's great. Really I got like those like duck lips and tongues all swollen and
yeah, it was a success. I had a good time. And yeah, so thanks. Thanks for coming out and
yeah, we appreciate you all.
At the bar.
We just wanted to give back a little bit, say thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go.
Check it out.
Are we recording? Check.
I fucking hope so.
Hey, can you hear me, babe? It's been so long since I've seen you or touched you or held you.
Did you say touched or held?
Yeah.
That is right, D. It all starts with the screen. And whether it is new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF.
Rank.com.
Or
greatfuckingscreens.com.
Cleaning screens is no fun, but EasyWay makes it funner. Their line of eco-friendly. Eco-chems. I like that.
Yeah.
Will make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Check them out at easyway.com. EasyWay.
It's the easiest way by far. And
Super
we feel
far.
sorry for you if you don't have it.
So sorry.
Yeah. I guess I don't even know how you run a shop, really.
We use 701 every single day.
Day.
If you or your art department could use some love, then you need to go to 1-900-HotStuff.com and get in touch with Nick or Lucas.
Nick or Lucas.
At Graphic Source. Make them your source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing.
Good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds like
that was like a great, like I woke up on the couch with like Dorito dust all over my chest and orange fingers, and I wake up in the middle of the night and it's just a beautiful, infomercial.
So there is, I just saw this like reel on, what was it, Instagram, something. And it was this video
kids in the 90s.
I think it was before the 90s, but it was this dude, he was eating Doritos. And then there was a hole and you stick your finger in the hole with the Doritos dust. You stick your finger in the hole and you pull your finger out and then there's no cheese on it.
Yeah.
And then it goes
out on the other side.
It goes to the other side and somebody sucks and licks it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a random person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People keep trying to reenact that in the truck stop bathrooms. It's weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. By people, do you mean you? Hey, Dylan, choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated, and that's why we love Chromaline. Go to chromaline.com to watch Kev's vids or contact him on Instagram, the Emulsion Guru, and get the answers you need.
Super smart. That's something you should have dialed. And if you don't have it dialed, call Kev.
Yeah, that's I don't know if there's anything more important in screen printing than having your screen room perfect. And I think you start there. Yeah, I think you do. I think you
starts with a screen.
So get a hold of Kev if you need some help and he will point you in the right direction. Cool. Thumbs up. That's it. All right. Adios. We're out of here.
Hey, see you later.
For real. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Yeah. Bye. Oh. Real quick. Who do we got? I wasn't there. So who'd you talk to?
We're talking mostly to Gildan Board of Decorators members, past and present.
Okay.
And we
And
talk
you're
about a little
talking-
about everything. We don't just talk about Gildan. We talk about first, I think I talked to some women in screen printing, and then we talked to past and present board members.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a good time.
Okay. Cool. Well,
It's a
enjoy
mix
the
of like 3 episodes. So
Okay. I was just getting ready to say, enjoy the show.
love you.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, see
Go
you.
like and subscribe and thumbs up and just fucking help us out a little bit.
Yeah. Look, I have YouTube open, the comment section, and I'm living in there. Like I'm making friends down there. You say something, I reply. You say something, I reply. And I like it. Like with the
with
thing.
his home
Like,
phone number.
Yeah. So I'm there. If you want to talk.
So, how was last night? What'd you guys do?
I went to an Italian restaurant, had dinner, and just chilled out. Didn't do too much. Today was going to be a busy day, so I kept it light.
Yeah, went to the shirt show happy hour. That
Yeah.
was fun. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Beer was good. It was good kind of being around other printers and decorators, and it's kind of funny because you could tell the differences. You got like your big corporate guys over here, and then you kind of brought together
everybody.
all the creatives. I feel like are really
Everybody's
there.
welcome. It was a really fun
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
It's
I
good.
feel like everyone there looked like they were in a band.
They're in a band.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That's just the nature of screen printers.
Yeah.
Most of us were in bands, and then we're all just dirty punk kids that want to print t-shirts. So, as you can tell, Andy's not here today. He hurt his back, and he left today. So, it's just us. It's just me by myself.
You gotta
Are
carry
you
the
okay
show.
with that,
Carry
Dylan?
it.
You feel?
I'm good with it.
You
I'm
good?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I miss my buddy. I miss him a lot. But we'll make it work. What about you? What did you do last night?
I also went to the shirt show happy hour.
Yeah. Well, what
and
happened for the
just-
rest of the night, though?
Okay, and then we got seafood, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And we went to the hotel bar.
Hmm.
I got a little crunk.
We came to the
So I
hotel
went
bar,
to
but I
bed.
think we were a little too early. We came to look for you all, but
Oh yeah.
I'm sure I was early.
No, at one point I was like, I should go to bed. This is about time.
I crashed around 9:30, and it feels good. I got good sleep, and I woke up this morning, had coffee with a couple friends, and now I'm here with you guys.
Awesome.
All good.
Fun.
So, Summer, introduce yourself a little bit. What do you do?
Okay. I am Summer Scott Samuel, and I do a lot of things. But what pays the bills is I am the director of product development and merchandising at Gildan. And my sign is Scorpio. No, I'm just kidding. I'm dating
Mine
myself
too.
right now.
Mine
Yes. But yeah.
That's the in thing now.
Yeah.
That's all I ever hear or see or everything is what people's signs
What my
are, and
sign is.
how the some planets are dictating what we all act like. or
Yes, yes.
Retrograde.
Especially if you're on the cusp too. That's a whole
Dylan,
other
do you know
thing.
yours?
I don't. I'm a Libra, but
Me
I
too.
don't
You're
know what that
balanced.
means.
You're
I don't
balanced.
hold crystals on my forehead before I go to sleep.
Wait, when's your birthday?
September
When?
27th.
Mine's the 24th.
gracious.
Well, we're
Are you
basically
serious?
twins.
That's my husband's birthday.
We're all Libras.
Yes, I have Libras in my
Yeah.
universe.
So what do you got going on now with Gillian? What are you guys working on? That's kind of like the new thing, because we
Yeah.
talked a lot yesterday with a bunch of people about how there's a brand new big beautiful booth here, and you guys are showing off a bunch of new cool stuff. So how did you have your hand in all that project?
Well, I think first off, I want to say the booths look fantastic. I think this is one of the best booth setups that I've seen us have in a long time, and I've
Yep.
been with the company
That's
for a
really cool.
while. I think it's really, it's really interactive. It's really modern, and we're really pivoting all of our brands a bit and starting to highlight them in a different way. There's a big push on our American Apparel brand that is kind of a big relaunch this year. A lot of things that we're doing in Comfort Colors, expansion there. And then Gildan, just kind of hanging our hat on what we do well, which is color, consistency, and just everything that you need in all aspects. So my part in that is just ensuring and helping support the team that does these trade shows, making sure they have all the product and everything that they need. And then also making sure that our customers that are here to come and see our booth have inventory to order. And so that's kind of what my responsibility is, making the product.
And bringing
each
the
year.
creative flair.
And bringing the creative flair and telling the why. We talk a lot about, like, what's the story? Why do you need it for your shop, or you need, you know, that sweatshirt for your shop? And those are the things that I try to help support both our, you know, our decorators and our internal teams.
Your turn. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, Jessica, I'm the ColorPOP print studio. When I first started out the ColorPOP, it was more of like a creative co-working space where I was actually teaching the Cricut moms how to use the DTG printers, teaching them about sublimation and kind of expanding their knowledge of the printing industry.
I thought that was really interesting when we met up going to Honduras. That's kind of how you talked about that you were doing the Cricut moms and all that stuff. And it's kind of funny, like it's a big thing in our industry now that like we're seeing creep up all these. I mean, the barrier of entry used to be screen printing. They would buy a press and they would, you know, make a homemade jobby and dry them in the oven and everything. And now it's like a whole new way of like people buying a Cricut and doing vinyl and getting into that. And then they eventually grow out of that and they either get into printing or digital or whatever. So it's kind of cool to see like this newer way of getting in. And that's kind of what you focus on. And you do a lot of education on that?
Yeah, so I educate them on the business side of having a printing business.
Right.
And I also educate them on all of the different ways that they can get screen printing without having to purchase any equipment, because we know it can get expensive, and if you don't have a location and they're at home. And what we saw during COVID is we saw the rise of the Cricut moms, and you can't scroll through Facebook without seeing like somebody selling a shirt. But I just think that it's time, like there's not a lot of education out there for them to get them to the next level.
Right.
So that's the piece that I'm kind of bringing to that.
That's pretty awesome. How's that going? I know you were talking about how you made a kind of an ebook and all that stuff.
Yeah, I launched an ebook. It's been great. The ebook focuses on brokers, print brokers, teaching them how to have a conversation with the screen printer, knowing the lingo, and actually having the designs ready to go, because we all know no screen printer wants somebody to drop them with a JPEG and say, here, print this. So I'm teaching them how to actually know the right way to approach a contract job with the printer. So.
How about you, party gal?
Hello. You guys can call me AP. So why not? That's actually really funny when I say my name is AP, like my nickname. I kind of know more about the person based on like what they associate it with. They'll be like, oh, Associated Press, or like the watch brand, or like, oh, like testing. And so then you kind of just learn more about that person in a really weird way.
Interesting.
All by saying your name.
Or making up other things,
Making up other shit, you know? I own Denimrush. Our journey was very different than typical screen printer. We definitely look at everything from a lens of experience, and you know, I think there's like so much cool innovation in more ways to do something, like more ways to like print, or more ways to get the right print, right color, like more ways to order. But what we really focus on is like, are you even ordering the right thing? You know, and like it can get done, but if you're not doing it properly, it's still going to wind up in the trash. And I think that's something that we try to avoid.
Well, you were more focused on like the activations and launches and kind of doing live stuff. So I feel like, is your journey more been, let's get the event going, figure out what the customer wants, and then figure out how do I make this merch or this whatever they want happen with whatever medium you can get it to work with?
So typically we'll be like, I think the most annoying question that we ask is why. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to have an event. And we're like, why? What's the purpose?
Right.
What type of people are you driving? What do you want people to be leaving with? And then based on that, we build an experience for them. Yeah. And then we guide them in like the design and what works for live, what doesn't work for live. We staff the whole thing, so we have a lot of customer service with that. We're not just there posted up in a corner. We like really get involved in the entire event, because my background was designing pop-up experiences to begin with. So like adding that with a layer of customization, and kind of figuring out if you can grab some data from it and like give that back to the client.
Yeah. What are some of like the bigger challenges you found in finding things for those kind of people?
Finding things as in like designing the experience.
Well, it's like you've called me or we've talked about, you know, what works on this garment, or I can't get this to stick, or whatever. And it's not like a normal thing. It's not like a normal, you know, you were coming to me with what? It was like a really, really thick hoodie, and you were trying to get some stuff like that. So, I mean, those are challenges. I feel like you're facing challenges all the time, more so than the average person, because you're trying to make weird, cool, unique products work.
Yeah. I FaceTimed him one day and I was like, SOS, help. I need an expert. What is going on? I think when we talk to brands, we always want to push the envelope of like, how can we make it cool? How can we make it one of a kind? But, you know, in that, like you said, does come a lot of challenges, because it's like, has anyone really done this before live? Or has anyone done this or anyone done this? And so it's great. I can reach out to people like you and I'm like, this design does not look good on here. What do we do? And it's like having that open conversation with our partners and sort of being like, we'll try it, we'll look at it, and, you know, we'll work with you on it. Because if it doesn't look good, we're not going to print it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about like these industry events and all this stuff, is to kind of see, you know, everyone nowadays is more connected and we can kind of share information. And I had an interesting conversation last night with some dudes from the UK that they were like, you know, over there everything's close guarded still. He's like, we come over here to like kind of like be able to talk to everybody about anything and everything. And I thought that was crazy. I mean, it's not crazy because 10, 12 years ago, that's how it was. You know, everyone was close guarded. And then I feel like a group of people just kind of started coming together, and, you know, forums and Instagram and everything else. We all started like secretly sliding in each other's DMs and being like, how do you do this? How do you do this? And now it's wide open. So
yeah, when I started 8 years ago, I learned everything off of like some random YouTube videos that guys were, you know, screen printers were putting out there. And so I'd learned screen printing, I learned separations, graphic design, all of that all through YouTube. And then now to see such a community, and it really, like you said, Facebook groups has really helped to bring people together. It's awesome.
Summer, how did you get involved in all of the kind of fashion-y stuff you've been doing through all the different companies you've worked for?
Well, I went to school for fashion, and being from North Carolina, which is one of the largest textile manufacturers, and it was in the 80s and 90s. There were a lot of opportunities for companies and brands in and around North Carolina. So because I went to school for fashion, I kind of got my feet wet in North Carolina, which then led me to Atlanta and back to North Carolina and then to Barbados. So my background has mostly been with those kind of like textile manufacturing companies similar to Gildan. And
so did you have a focus when you started? You were like, I want to do this specifically, and it led you in another direction?
I did. I think when everybody first goes to fashion school, they're like, I'm going to be a designer, and of course I'm going to be the next great designer. Right. I quickly learned that wasn't my love language.
That's not also the case a lot of times.
It is. It takes a lot of time. And then I learned about all these different avenues like manufacturing, product development, merchandising, supply chain, and all like that once I got my first job. And it was as a product coordinator, so detached from design. And I saw that I thrived, and I learned early on that my sauce was the storytelling and the setting the creative vision.
I call it the zone of genius.
Is that what it is?
That's what I call it. Your zone of genius.
It sounds good.
It does. And then so I also found that I was a good gatherer of people, so I could bring design together and bring marketing together and kind of manage that sensitive spot, because designers are very, attached to the design and say, okay, well, what if we do it this way? Think about it this way. And so it just ended up that I kind of was in this product development, merchandising zone. I'm a bit of a slasher in the sense that I do a lot of different things. And I think that is because I came through my career with manufacturers where you do everything from, beginning creative to delivery.
Right.
So I touch quality and, inventory, just a lot of different areas. So it's good. And I've learned a lot throughout my career.
What's your
I'd say.
favorite part of it?
My favorite part of
Because I know there's got to
think,
be
is
a lot of like decision making and a lot of like the corporate process. Like I know
Yeah.
you can be creative and be like, I really want to do this, but there's like 100 people that are involved.
Yes, sometimes. That's one thing I do like about Gildan. We're very, lean, so you do have a lot of creative freedom. I think that front end creative, the partnering with people like you all in your industry and kind of like, tell me what you're seeing, what are you hearing, and hearing ideas. I always love the market shopping. That's always great.
How do you go about doing that? How does the market shopping thing work?
So there's a lot of different ways that we do it. We do it people watching. We do it from feedback from the market. So visiting shops, seeing what you're doing, seeing what's different from Seattle to New York. Mm-hmm. We do it from literally going to LA and New York and hitting high-end stores. So we take a lot of cues from some of the, more ready-to-wear brands, and then kind of how do we make that work within our market. And we look at our partners. I wouldn't say our competitors, but our partners in this industry, and what are things that they're thinking about and considering. And then the last part, I think, is like digital, how do you say it? Digital avenues such as WGSN, Business of Fashion. We keep a pulse of what's happening in all different industries, and then, do WGSN for future setting trends and things like that.
I think all three of you kind of have to keep your eye on trends and stuff, because you're keeping an eye on your niche market of like what is the next thing they're going to do, or what is the next thing they're going to get into. And you're trying to find like what's the next cool thing that you can offer that wasn't happening last year.
Yeah, our focus is like very Gen Z millennial. So, which I find that there's actually a huge gap in that and in the industry, because the Gen Z millennial kids, they change their minds all the time. Like the trends are very fast.
That's what I mean. It's kind of like really weird, some of the things that I see people getting into now. So what are you seeing happening? Like what have you worked with that was kind of out of the box, and what are you trying to get into right now?
So since COVID's like trickling out essentially, right? More people are out wanting to do things. Like we know pickleball has grown like crazy.
Pickleball?
Pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball.
That was a thing when I was in high school.
Yeah, we have
it's back,
two
baby.
restaurants
Pickleball.
in my area of pickleball restaurants.
Really?
Yeah, so it's become this huge thing. So part of something that we offer, I mean, this is not clothing, but we look at it from a lifestyle perspective. Like, what's the package as a brand that you could be delivering? So we're working on something called the Play Box. We launch 4 collections a year, like ourselves, because we used to do e-commerce in the past. So like kind of just playing back into that a little bit and just show brands like what's out there, what's trending. So we're designing like a pickleball set and like an outfit to go with it. And so
what kind of outfit do you pick to go with pickleball?
It's just a sweatshirt, but like, like make it look cool.
But what's to your point?
It should be that Gildan that American Apparel midi tee.
It's actually a Gildan sweatshirt that we dyed.
Okay.
Because we do our in-house dyeing, but it's like a stone wash.
Okay.
So there's like the way that gravity pulls the paint is how it sits on the sweatshirt.
Nice.
It's just a whole thing. And so then we did
science
and then we did a whole tone on tone, like half tone print on it, so it looks just embossed kind of in that area. But we're offering these to people, and we're like, hey, you don't actually have to get 10,000 of this unit. You could do like 50, 60, because it's actually just merch for you. It's not your main revenue generator, but we can have more fun with it because we have those connections with these factories, and like we're able to build that experience for them.
What about you? What are you seeing with your training and everything? Is it kind of like just gearing them to grow that business, or is there some kind of trend you have to go after?
Yeah, it's crazy because they're crafters by nature, so they always come up with like different ways to do things. And I feel like when I'm watching what they're doing, I have to be quick about it and say, okay, they're doing DTF now. Where are they getting these DTF sheets from? Right. Then now we come to the show and there's all these DTF printers. So it's like they're almost like ahead of the curve on certain things, and then they're taking off. So I kind of have to keep an eye out on that with them. But one thing else that's now starting to pop up is that a lot of them want to have their own brands. and they're just not like designing to do like custom tees for like a baby shower or, you know, anything like that, but they're trying to do their own brands. And I think one thing that I'm trying to get into is teaching them about, like, the fashion industry has a print cycle, right? Or they have a cycle of producing, you know, winter, fall, spring, all that. And I think that in having your own brand, they need to learn that also. Like, makes it easier if they're going to be mass producing for like a launch of summer. Trying to teach that about screen printing. Like, you got to have time if you're going to have, you know, if you're going to hold inventory. But then also teaching on print on demand. So print on demand is taking off.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it's taking off, and that's what we're going to focus on too this year.
Yeah.
Pushing that.
Is there anything you guys feel like is more, you kind of have a leg up with being a woman in the industry? Kind of, I mean, you're going after, it'd be kind of weird, not weird, I guess, but different if I went after the Cricket Mom market.
Yeah.
And,
like this guy.
you know, I mean, there's a lot of males in the fashion industry, but, and do you guys feel like you kind of have some kind of advantage with that?
I think that we've let me just tell you. I think that we've had to do, at least for me, I've had to do a lot of different things, like a lot of different sprints of experiences because of, like, you know, like I started off in the interior design world, and then I designed hotels, and I did experience, like, my path was so different, and I feel like I had something to prove. So, you know, and so it's like, since I've had so many little sprints of experience, I feel like, you know, now with combining everything, I feel like I have the leg up because I was able to grasp more amounts of information. And now it's a matter of like tying it all together and making it like one seamless platform.
Right.
So I feel that, you know, that was my personal experience with, you know, being a woman in the industry.
What about you guys? Do you guys have anything to add with that?
Yeah, so for me, when I first got into screen printing, it was a little tough. I started out brokering, and I knew because I was self-taught through YouTube, right? And then I started screen printing, but then after I shut down my screen printing company, because of a divorce, I started to broker out, and I felt like a lot of the screen printers in my community were kind of pushing me to the back burner. I kind of felt a little bit of like, oh, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about, or how does she even know this? I would get a lot of questions, and I almost had to like stand up tall and be like, hey, I already have the steps done. I'm sending you this. I'm sending you this. I'm dropping off the shirts. Get my done, you know, get it done. But maybe it was my own community because there isn't a lot of women screen printers where I'm at specifically. So
yeah,
it was a little hard.
Yeah, that's something too. Like we've talked about. I mean, we're very, you know, big supporters of the Print Girls Mafia. They're out doing their thing. They were in here and recorded some stuff. I could see a couple of them right now. Yeah. You know, there are a lot of female printers, and there's a lot of, you know, females in our industry that are, you know, better than a lot of the other ones. Like we're all kind of on the same page on the same thing, but it's kind of been this weird stigma over the past, you know, years of, you know, you walk into a booth trying to buy a piece of equipment and they're like, well, where's your husband, or you know, whatever.
I had that experience when I bought
I've
my
heard that a
DTG
lot,
printer. Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, I bought my DTG printer 3 years ago. And I came in with money. I had money, right? I was ready to buy.
Sure.
And it was like a Pretty Woman type of situation. I feel like, because I would walk into these booths and nobody would talk to me. One, I look really young, and then I'm short. And it's like, I feel like that kind of, like who's this little girl coming in here? And I finally, I stopped at a booth and I was like, I want an F2100. I know what I came here to buy. Yep. And the guy was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll help you. And I'm like, and I had to be assertive for it. So it's kind of weird.
Well, you know, for the longest time, it kind of has been a little bit of the boys club, you know, it's been a lot of that. And I'm glad it's going the other way. I'm glad it's, you know, I feel like over the past couple of years, I've seen way more of, you know, the females dominating and coming in. And like I said, there's a lot of really good female printers that I look up to that are doing amazing work. Have you noticed anything, Summer, in your path that's kind of...
She's like, let me tell you.
Yes. You know, I'm a Gen Xer, total transparency. So I didn't have the luxury of learning things on YouTube or pop-up experiences when I was coming up in my career, which was very male-dominated and in a lot of aspects still is. I've seen a little bit of that shift. But I think what helped me is putting myself in the right places and partnering with people in areas and just saying, I want to learn. People always like to talk about what they do and tell you all of this. Oh, and look at this, and kind of get into the details of how they tinker with different things. And so I was just made myself a sponge. And that's how, when I talked earlier about being a slasher, I just gained all this knowledge. So I would sit with the, VP of the warehouse or, supply chain and just say, what do we do in supply chain? And that's the beauty of working with vertical manufacturers, because everybody sits under one roof, and I can go visit this person and just ask questions. And I think that's what led me to not only have I designed, T-shirts for this printwear industry, but I've designed basketball and football uniforms, and similar in the way of T-shirts, is this DTG friendly? Does this work better with embroidery? I had to learn, does tackle twill work better on, this uniform, and number placement and all of those different things. So I've done those different things from, that to performance gear to sweatshirts, T-shirts, you name it. It's been a lot of different things, denim. But my path has really been putting myself in those positions and where those unofficial mentors were, and just saying, listen, I can do this, believing in myself and just asking questions and being comfortable with being uncomfortable and being curious.
With that being said, do you guys have any advice for women trying to get in the industry now, especially coming from your side, like the cricket side, or coming into the event planning space or the design stuff? Do you guys have any advice?
One thing that I think for me that I didn't learn until most recently is what I just said of being comfortable with being uncomfortable and putting myself out there. I feel that imposter syndrome is a big thing, especially for women, and we second guess ourselves.
I go through that a lot.
Huh?
I go through that a lot.
All the time, and I still do. Right, and say, why am I even doing this? I can do this. So networking and talking about the things that you know and do. Sometimes we just kind of hold it and say, I can do that. Or, I'm actually an expert in that. But we don't share that information.
Yeah.
We need to do more of that and put our expertise, and don't have the fear of sounding braggadocious or like we're, tooting our own horn, but toot your own horn.
I do feel like, though, that this industry, it's been like, I feel like I really didn't know about this industry until 6 months ago, to put it very clear. And everyone's been so nice, because the industries that I'm used to are like the fashion industry, where everyone's, can we cuss?
They gatekeep everything.
Yes. Everyone's a bitch.
Yeah.
And so it's been so interesting coming here and learning, and everyone is like willing to teach.
But it hasn't always been that way, though.
No, it hasn't. But I will say this, like, I think that the printers are a lot nicer than the people selling the equipment, than the people like corporate owners a little bit. But recently I've had a good experience. But a lot of it, like you said, is kind of just being like, well, gonna figure it out, and this is what it is.
I think the biggest part with that kind of tangent here real quick is that, like, the printers are all here to kind of like live their lives and make art and do cool shit, and just kind of like, their experience here and all of us going to these shows is we just want to, like, you can see everyone around us is just sitting around bullshitting. They're just talking and having a good time. And they're like, hey, last week I ran into this issue, and then he's like, oh, I figured that out a year ago. Here's the answer. The manufacturers, though, for the most part, they're selling a product specifically, or they're selling equipment specifically, and there's someone right across the hall from them that they're competing with and trying to sell. They don't want to share information. They don't want to be all buddy with everybody, because they're trying to all sell the same thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of difficult in a room like this. They're not necessarily artists; they're manufacturers, so it's a little more difficult. But
they're also here to learn from us, like what we need and what's going to work for us. Going back to kind of your other question, I think, like, people need to ask more questions. I've gotten people that are going to my DMs and ask me a question about like, what machine is that? Or, you know, and I'm not scared. I'll give them all the information. One, because I'm going to get in that space of education, but also I feel like it needs to be readily available because like AP, like you have no idea like how to do something, but you should feel comfortable enough to ask somebody that does it. And I think that women in general kind of have that. They feel like somebody's not going to share with them. It's a cattiness that some women have. But when I always put on my social media, ask me whatever. I will tell you, I will help you, I will tell you where to go. But I also think for like the cricket moms and those that are looking to get more into this industry, these shows are great because you learn a lot and you get to see what's out there.
Yeah, for sure. I think in general, just walking into a room and being like, I'm a badass and I'm here to buy. I have my money. Sell me this piece of equipment or sell me this product or whatever it is, or just the confidence to talk to everybody. I feel like is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
like, don't be shy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have anything else you want to add about your experience with the show? Anything you're excited about? Anything you're doing new? Not even just the show, you guys in general that are doing anything new? What's your next project?
We're working with Under Armour, which will be really fun. We're doing it like on-site screen printing for them. And so again, it has been cool coming here because I had so many questions and Mitch was like, I got you. I'll tell you what process to do because this is the best process for like it being live. And again, like, because my background is like marketing and strategy, and I'll tell you I'll package it for you.
Now, are you live printing Under Armour apparel? Is it poly? So that's going to be challenges in itself, live printing poly.
Transfers.
I know. They want a screen. I know.
I mean, you can do it. I'm just saying you're going to have to do different inks, different dryer temps or flashing or whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah. They're sending me a bunch of products to test on. Because that's something we never, I think since we're always doing different things and unique things. I mean, it's not really unique stuff. It's just like the way that we're maybe doing it is unique. I'm always like, I will not put anything out there unless we do a test and you approve this test. Because it's like,
absolutely.
It's like,
the worst feeling ever is showing up thinking you know what you're doing when you get to a live event, and then it's totally not.
Yeah, I'm like, we're doing test run, and then we'll be there.
Right. Exactly. How about you? Anything new?
Yeah, I'm working on a experiential event type of thing. So it's almost like those painting with a twist, but with printing. So I want to develop parties. I want to change my studio to be a print bar where we're serving, but then they're coming in and they're creating products on site. So people can rent it out as a birthday party or.
So you want to get them all liquored up.
Yeah. And then get them to come in and buy on site. Spend some money and print on site. So. Yeah, it's a concept I've been working on, so we'll see if I can launch it this year.
Summer, what can you tell us that's new that you can't get in trouble for?
Well, this is new. Doing these podcasts, this is new for me. Doing a lot more interviews, social media things. But
that's great for you guys, though. That's what you guys need is you need to get out there and talk to everybody.
Yeah, it's fun. And again, going back to that comment about the imposter syndrome, it breaks some of that because I'm like, okay, y'all keep asking me to do I guess I do okay. Okay, I keep doing it.
You're doing a good job.
So it's fun. It's fun. It breaks up the monotony. It gets you out of the office. It gets you doing something a little bit different. So I'm really enjoying that and enjoying spending time with you all and learning from you as the BOD members. This is our third. I think you guys are our third group. So just like getting to know you and this. Each year gets better and better and more involved and engaged, and I really enjoy that.
Well, I'm kind of sad to have to do this without Andy, but we're going to do quick takes real quick, which is just general questions personally for you guys. Okay. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Why?
Everything's fresh. Everything's new.
You get up early enough for a sunrise?
I do.
You're one of those.
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm not one of those.
I am.
Everything's just so fresh, and it's like a new
sunrise.
beginning.
What's that?
I'm like, what do you mean?
It comes up. It's not already here when I get up.
So sunrise for me.
Okay. All right. You're a sunrise.
I'm
as well?
a sunrise.
You're
I'm a
a
5
sunset.
a.m.er.
Give me that sunset.
All right. Pizza, tacos, or sushi?
Ooh, sushi, no question, Hands down for me.
Sushi, seafood.
Sushi.
Taco.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tacos is the right. Tacos is the right answer. You guys failed.
I feel like you could put anything in a taco and be
you
like,
can. I mean,
it's
you
a
could have-
taco.
You could put sushi in a taco.
Yeah, we can do that. I
Taco.
can meet you halfway.
Could be all. Could be everything. We had this in there because we were in Vegas the last 2 times. Slots or blackjack?
Slots for me.
The penny slots or like the high dollar slots?
Maybe somewhere in between. Penny, no, but like I'll put a 5 in.
My favorite thing about penny slots,
If
and I'm not a
that's
huge
high
gambler,
dollar.
but it's like those machines always hype you up like you're winning, and it's like ding 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 ding, and you
And
realize
it's
you won like
nothing.
$5
$5,
cents.
yeah, yeah. For the penny slots, I'm like, no, let's make some money.
Like, wow, this is a waste of time.
Make
How
some
about you?
money.
Mine's actually roulette.
I was gonna say I'm a roulette guy.
I'm a roulette
Yeah,
player.
me too.
I have never gambled once in my life, so I literally don't know how to play any of these games.
Start with.
But if you
slots.
had
Well,
to-
but if I had to, I feel like blackjack because like you have to use your brain a little bit.
Yeah, slots. It's a
Blackjack
it's
is
a bingo.
dangerous though.
Hey, don't be judgmental.
Hey.
I like a slot.
Slot is
I'll
just
take a
bingo,
risk.
You don't even have to pull the handle anymore.
Not captured is the wing.
Hold on, there's lots of. All right, what are you reading, watching, or listening to that you like right now?
Right now, I'm reading November 9th.
What's that
Colleen
about?
Hoover. Basically, it's about
It's a romance novel.
It's a little, I would say what is it? Romance?
Rom-com?
No, drama a
Oh.
bit.
Are there vampires?
No vampires, unfortunately. But
I
basically,
mean, you know
about a
Fairies
his
or
young
wizards?
girl-
genre now.
Huh?
Romance with vampires is his genre.
Okay.
Clearly.
With the steamy cover.
But it's basically about a young girl that was severely burned in a house fire, and fast forward 2 years, ends up falling in love with the guy that was the cause of the house fire, and she didn't know it.
Drama.
Totally
dramatic.
Yeah, dramatic.
You just ruined it for me. Now I can't watch it.
But there's a lot
Listen.
of like twists and turns that get you to it. So that's my first book of the year.
Okay.
Wow.
Listening, reading, watching.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, I binge, and I'm binging Yellowstone right now.
Gosh.
Okay. That was the same answer yesterday.
I haven't
So
watched
good.
that yet.
Yeah, I'm binging it. Like,
gave
What
up
season
on it.
are you on?
no.
You did?
I did.
3.
Too slow.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It just got.
Season 4 is
I don't know. It got
Have
too
you-
too hyped, and then I feel like they came out with a new season and they played into the hype a little bit and didn't have as
Actually,
creative of content.
The 1883 is even better than
1883
Yeah.
was great.
Oh, I
that was
loved
great
it.
by itself, but it's
I haven't
done. It's
seen
like
it
a
yet.
one-off thing, and
You
it
don't
was
think
great.
they'll keep going back to it?
I don't think so, because then they made the new middle year with the next one.
1923,
Yeah, so I don't
which-
think there's no reason to go back.
Well, you have everything between 1883 and 1923.
I hope not. I hope they leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
I hope they leave it the way it was because there's a great ending to
Oh,
it.
it was so good.
I don't want to ruin it for everybody,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
So
they
good.
were. Yellowstone is filming in the small towns over by where I live, and so I wanted to go and be an extra just because I was binging the show at the time. But they were filming season 5, so
I love
Yeah.
Beth and Rip.
what about you?
Oh my God,
I feel
I
like you're gonna
love
have a
it.
good answer for me. You watch
Okay.
trash TV, don't
I
you?
watch a lot of trash TV.
Yeah, I knew it.
But Kardashians, you can't beat them as much. You can hate them all you want, but they're good to watch. They're OG. But I just finished watching White Lotus. Did you watch that?
Hmm? The second one?
Yeah. She crazy.
All the way through it.
You didn't?
No.
Don't ruin it.
I don't
No,
have
you gotta
HBO
watch
anymore.
it.
I need to get HBO again.
You gotta
But I
watch
watched
that.
season 1 and then halfway to season 2.
I think season 2 is better than season 1.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not finished with season 2 yet.
Oh, you guys.
Catch
Guys.
up.
I'm halfway.
Oh. See, once
I
you
heard it was
pass
good.
halfway, you're going to be like, what the hell?
Okay.
Sounds good. Last question. Where are you guys going for dinner tonight?
Ooh. I think there's a couple of stops. Haven't figured that out just yet. It might end up being tacos. It may be a little paella. It
Taco-
might be a
sushi
little-
taco.
Sushi taco.
Yeah. If I can get
What about you?
one,
Where you
I'm
going?
surely
I
on.
have no idea.
Just
See.
whatever you run into.
Whatever.
Taco sushi
Yeah.
with her. What about you?
Just following the crowd. This is my first show.
Where
She
everyone
knows where
else,
the crowd's at.
where everyone else
Which
is
way
going
are we
is the answer.
walking?
Well, thanks guys for coming on. It's fun.
Thank you for having
Appreciate
us.
it. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
It's fun. Thank
Bye,
you.
Dylan.
Bye. So here we are, round 2. It's going to be more loose now because I just did one. So I'm just going to kick back and let you guys handle it. That's why I'm sitting over here on the side. So you guys talk. I'll sit here. Sound good?
Hello.
Introduce yourself. What do you do? Where's your shop? What's
My
up?
name is Ryan Toney. My shop is P&M Apparel in Polk City, Iowa. My name is Peter Seow. My shop is Easy Did It in Atlanta, Georgia.
And I'm Christy Rossi from Snatch and Run Apparel, right outside Charlotte in TKK, South Carolina.
You messed up. It's a Snatch and Grab apparel.
Aww. Yeah, that's an old one.
So we have the luxury of all being board members for the Gildan Board of Decorators. How did you guys get involved with it? What was been your experience so far?
So I got involved through Matt Marcotte. He was running us through Printavo, and he said, hey, there's this board of decorators that I've never heard of before, and said, you know what, you should apply. And I did, and they interviewed me, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
And you got out.
Yeah.
But you hadn't gone to any shows before that or anything, or been out in the industry much?
No, I mean, so we've been in business for 35 years, and we haven't sent anybody to shows in the last like 7. So this is the first show that we've been at for however many years, at least like big ones. There's like regional shows in the Midwest that we've sent people to before, but nothing like this size.
Yeah. With the company going that long, how does it work? Was it like parents, you, or how?
So we're on 3rd generation right now. My sister and I are running the shop.
That's awesome.
So P&M is my grandparents, Phyllis and Melvin. And they started in their basement 35 years ago doing single head embroidery. And now we're here with 3rd generation.
And 35 years now we're here.
Yeah. No, and then my mom took over maybe like 25 years ago. And she really made the shop what it is, with an eye on quality over like just getting stuff out the door.
Right. Was your grandparents like that? Like get it out the door?
Yeah.
Be honest, it's cool.
Yeah, well, they're dead, so I can
trash them. Let's do it.
There's a distinct story where some of the garments smelled like gasoline, and my grandpa said, "Oh, well, they can wash them," and it's like, all right, that's the quality back then. We're a little bit higher quality now.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I was always curious about that. Honestly, I mean, let's just talk to Ryan the entire time. I was always curious about that with it changing hands, especially not only once but twice.
Yeah.
Now, have you seen? I guess you haven't seen the whole thing, but has it changed a lot between family members and ownership?
Definitely. So, like I said, my mom really strived to make it. We're the best, not the cheapest, and so my sister and I, Megan, have really honed in on that, but then have taken it a step further, and like we want all of our employees to also think that and really train them to care about the product that goes out the door instead of the money that goes into their bank account.
Now, did your mom just one day be like, fucking them out?
No, so we're actually working through that transition right now. We have something we call book club, where every Friday we kind of get together, and we've been reading different business books. Our next one is like how to transition business from parent to child through generations like that. So I think it'll look a little bit cleaner than probably it did from her parents to her. But even then, like my grandparents were still in the shop, 2 years ago, before they died.
It's still pretty awesome though for you to be able to go from a built shop that everyone kind of knows who they are. You obviously probably grew up there and worked there when you were a kid and everything, to now being like, this is how I see how it should be ran.
Yeah, it's weird because my sister and I never thought we would be in this business. Like she actually has a degree for what she's doing. She's got a graphic design degree. I went to school for social work, so I'm not anywhere near where I'm supposed to be. But it's definitely strange to see where it was, when I was growing up and where it has become and where it's going.
Who do you hand it to?
So I have a 4-year-old. Megan has a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. They're always running around the shop. Like over Christmas break, they took all their toys to the shop because we have a lot of open space, and we're like riding bikes around and driving cars around. So we're raising that 4th generation in the shop.
So you have to work for another 20, 30 years before you hand it off to them?
Oh God, I hope not. I hope not. No.
You at least got to wait till they're ready.
Yeah. It's weird. I'm not going to hand it off to a 4-year-old right now. I think he would probably just spend all the money.
Might go back to the gasoline.
Yeah. He'd probably spend all the money on like Spider-Man and dinosaur toys. So,
Pete, how about you?
I got into the BOD online. I found it signed up. And for me, it was just getting signed up and finding out that I was actually going to be chosen. I didn't get talked about it from anybody. Don't really have much show experience. But I came into this as a printer. And then now I'm taking over my own shop and then getting started trying to establish, kind of like what Ryan said, I want to start my own thing that I can pass down to my family.
Right.
And I'm kind of grooming my kids in the shop to be in there, learning how to screen print and do stuff with me. So.
Yeah. I feel like with our experience of talking to each other on the last trip, you kind of do a lot of more like unique style printing, or you're doing like different things with the hats you had and everything else.
I'm like in the middle of like the Atlanta art scene, so it's either gonna be shirt merch for like bands or companies that I work with, and then I like to just dabble on the creative side. I do hats, I do paintings, I do sculptures, and just all type of work with resin. Do a lot of like I got into the resin by learning how to do countertops, and then I just started making art sculptures with it.
That's a weird way to get into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do lit signs too, right?
Yeah, I do neon signs. I learned how to wire up some electric stuff during the pandemic when I had some downtime. So just trying to add to my skill set. Just keep going.
Nice. It's awesome. You.
Hello. Yes.
You now. You.
So I'm really bad about checking my email, and then one day I decided I was going to do that, and there was an email from looked like spam, and I opened that one of all the emails that I open in a day, and at the end of the email it said apply to be on Gildan's board of decorators, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but I just filled it out and got a call a couple weeks later. So
is that why your parents thought you were getting human trafficked?
Probably.
Let's not get into that. You kind of have a cool, interesting story too on how you got started.
I do. So I was in banking before screen printing, and
seems like the way to go, like banking to screen printing.
yeah, operation management to screen printing. No, and then I was a stay-at-home mom. I love to be doing things I love learning, and a stay-at-home mom gig just wasn't for me. Good for everybody that can do it, but I needed to be doing something. So I started working out at the gym, and people would always say these really inappropriate sayings at the gym, and that should be on a shirt. If I heard that should be on a shirt one more time, I was going to scream. So I went home that night and looked on YouTube, like, how hard can it be to screen print famous last words? And just did the deep dive in YouTube, and then bought a speedball kit on Amazon. And I was so excited about it. I went to Target, got some blanks off the clearance rack, and one of those funny sayings that people said at the gym, put it on a shirt. Oh, it was awful screen printing.
What was it? What was the first saying?
Snatch-tastic.
Snatch-tastic. Perfect.
And I posted my experience of learning to screen print and buying the shirts and screen printing on my Instagram. And people started commenting, I want to buy that shirt. And so I sold those shirts that night. And then the next day I was so excited. I went to Target again and bought some more shirts off the clearance rack and did the same thing that night. And then it just kind of rolled into that. It's been a bootstrap business where the money that I made off those first shirts, I just turned into like, okay, I'm going to buy a one color, one station press. And then I spent the next money and did a flash dryer, because before that I was drying the shirts in the oven.
Right.
So.
How long ago was that you started?
8 years.
Nice.
8 years.
What was it like when you first realized you could buy shirts not at Target,
Yeah.
but for wholesale?
Yeah, it was awesome being able to actually give people what they were buying, because before that I would just be like, well, Target didn't have it, so
Right.
you're going to have to take what you get.
I remember that from when I very, very first started. I was printing our own band merch, and that's what we did. We went to Target, Walmart, Michael's, AC Moore, and we were buying whatever they had, and then we'd print them, sell them, and then go back the next day, buy them, sell them, whatever. And then, when you get your first account, back then I think it was TSC that I was ordering from. And then it was Bodekin Rhodes, which isn't around anymore either. But yeah, it's a different thing. But the cool thing is with the BOD was that we kind of all met each other. We all got to hang out. It was crazy. Our first experience together was to go to Honduras, which I feel like should have been the end of the trip.
Probably.
Oh, we got Barbados.
Well, we got Barbados coming.
And we went on a long walk in North Carolina.
I don't want to hear about it. You guys are babies. The midst of my, okay, it's fine, we'll walk anywhere. All right, first of all, to clear the air, I said I'm going to walk.
and I started walking. It's not my fault that you guys followed me.
And you have a podcast, so we do what you say.
Right, you're like, we're like, must follow him.
Man, there was some pressure.
It was like what? It was only like 2 miles.
It wasn't far, but it seemed like
It
we were
just seemed
walking
like it was
for
going.
hours.
I think it's because we were like in a strange area, and it's like there wasn't a whole lot.
It
to
was
look
like a
at.
dead like nuke town. There was like not a human in sight. And then when you saw a human, it looked like they had been through the
Salisbury.
nuclear,
Salisbury,
like
North
on their
Carolina.
porch, right? Like want to come in.
Yeah.
But it was a fun experience. Like for real, I've been in the industry a long time, and it was kind of like the whole. I never really been to a place from what did they call it? Dirt to shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like seeing how the whole shirt was made. You know, the yarn. I think, in all honesty, like Honduras was amazing to go, but if I was completely honest, North Carolina was probably the most impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, just because. I don't know, it's crazy to just see like a bale of raw cotton.
Yeah.
And then you see like Build-A-Bear style, like shoots of it being shot into another room. And then just rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of
Just like the
spinning
yarn
machines.
going up, and yeah, that was crazy.
You know, for me, being in North Carolina, South Carolina shop, learning about the cotton being grown right there in North Carolina,
Yeah.
it's been a great selling point for me to be able to tell my customers, oh, you want to shop local, you want to buy
Right.
local. Well, this cotton was grown right here,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about where it came from.
Right. And they're all vertically integrated. It's
Yeah.
kind of like,
and it's like you have the people that are like, oh, I want 100% USA made. It's like you're going to pay a pretty penny for that,
right.
or you know, all of this cotton is here in the United States. I think at union jobs too.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, the other thing too is like if you don't make your own, yarn and all that other stuff, you're buying it from some other company, and it's always that like, yeah, we'll get it done and get it ready for you and sold. It's like you don't know every little way it's been done. You don't know everything. It's like they have everything on lock. And we were actually talking about it at dinner last night. Was kind of like, I was talking about it with Tony this morning at coffee. We were talking about how he's gone to some other yarn facilities, and there's just like lint everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, everywhere we went for Gildan was like, they had like floor vents that were suctioning. It was like shop back central of like, the floors were shiny. There was no lint anywhere. And that was like crazy to me. It was just like how, and the automation there too. We saw like 3 people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even then they were just like, yep, that looks
all
good.
they were doing was making sure that all the machines were working good and everything was great.
Yeah,
it was just
everything kept
crazy
running,
how
nothing stops.
how efficient and how great, like dialed in they had every process. It was crazy for me.
I think the thing that was most impressive to me was seeing the 50-50 being made out of the plastic fibers and the
And then they have the light over it, and you could see the poly.
And they lay it down on that bed, and it becomes that thin strand.
It's insane.
Yeah,
it's crazy to see that stuff.
Team Todd.
Yeah, Team Todd for sure.
Do you guys feel like we should have done more in Honduras? Like I was expecting like more cultural experiences from Honduras.
That would be my only downside to it, was that we went and saw all the facilities, which was great, but we didn't really see the country.
Yeah. Like,
Which
I've been to
I don't
Honduras,
blame them at all. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, here's however many people are on the board. We're going to fly you here to this strange country for you. And then like, if they just opened the doors and let us go, we would have never came back.
Yeah.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Whether by
It
choice or not.
Right. Whether by choice or not. It would be like, how do they wrangle us in the morning to be like, let's get on this bus, drive an hour to the place?
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
But even like local food would have been nice instead of like the Italian restaurant and then the steakhouse. And then the
I wasn't
steakhouse.
complaining. It was
No.
all
Oh, it was
We only
good.
ate Probably.
for like
How
5
many
people.
ounces of steak?
I know, it was a lot.
We should have kept a count, kept a tally.
I mean, that's the best part about travel is food. So I don't know. I feel like they took really, really good care of us with the whole cars and the flights and everything and the whole
Security.
trip. Security was nice. Yeah. I mean, we got pulled over to get the bus checked at one point, you know, and what was his name? We said it a million times.
Luis,
Luis.
Yeah.
Luis
Oh,
was
man,
like
Luis in his
stone cold.
backpack.
Yeah. And he was just like,
with a bag of grenades.
he handled it. It was really like, honestly, like one of the things in my life where I'm like, especially when this is your career, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's one of those like, I got to do this and not a lot of other people have, you know what I mean? It's kind of like nice to see.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. The only thing I wish we could have saw was the biomass
Yeah.
The bow match, the bow top.
Yeah.
And going to see that. I think that
Well,
would
we,
have gave
we
us.
literally flew over a hurricane to get to Honduras. So
Exactly. But I mean, like it would probably would have gave us more of that cultural experience to see like what they're doing to the land and the country out there and how they're bringing it back into the country and making it all worthwhile.
Was there anything for you that you saw that you kind of blew you away a little bit?
Just the scale of the operations down there, the number of employees that they have, how efficient the employees work together in pods, creating garments. I wish I could bring some of that back to my shop personally.
I think one of the funniest things though was them watching us try to sew stuff.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That was fun.
That was just like, they're like, watch these fuckers. There's no way. There's no way they're going to handle this.
Yeah, we are not getting a job sewing garments anytime soon.
All of like our mismatched garments that we get in our shops. I'm always just like, yeah, that was probably us that did
But
that.
that's the other thing too that's interesting is like we sat down being cocky of like we make these, we do everything, and we can sit back at our own shops and be like, oh, there's a hole, or oh, the sleeve's slightly different. It's like, dude, people are sewing these.
Yeah.
And then we tried it and failed horribly.
Even with like expert advice standing right over your shoulder.
Yeah, they're like, slowly do this. I was like, "Blah," and they're like, yeah, it's just like it's not you I just feel like you can't say that anymore. Like I feel like I can't. And me and Steven were talking about this too. Like we weren't necessarily supposed to do photo and video of the employees and all that, you know, privacy, whatever. But it was like, we asked them, like, could we please like get video of them sewing a couple garments so I can take it back to my shop to show like, dude, this is how this is made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe respect now a little bit when you're like, oh, there's something's a little different or a little weird.
The volume that they're producing, the precision that they're using,
And
it really changes your perspective.
And it's quick. I mean,
Give people some
the
grace.
time from what the blank fabric to you have a hoodie. It was like what, 2 minutes?
Maybe.
And just watching people be like, oh, this is how you put a hood on a hoodie. And the dude was like, it was done.
Yeah, my favorite was how they put pockets on tees. That machine that
the
they
thing that comes down and does the pocket. Yeah. No, it's pretty crazy to see the whole process, and it was very eye-opening, and I'm super excited to do more of this. And they reached out to me a little while ago and were like, hey, we'd love to have you guys at the show to do the podcast and all that stuff. And they set us up with this awesome booth, and we're all here hanging out and doing more stuff. So I don't know, I'm really excited to be a part of it, and I'm excited to see like who we get to suggest or be on next year.
Yeah.
Really cool. It's definitely been like a really cool learning experience too, because I mean we all come from different walks of life, and it's like, oh, how you do things in your shop, I might not do that, but that's a really good idea. Or, you know, bouncing ideas off each other. What vendor do you guys know that has this, or this?
Well, that's something too, like, I don't know, like I said, not to be an asshole, but it's kind of like you show up to something like this when we all first met each other, and you find out like we all do totally different things, or you know, certain people don't know anything about apparel, they're just doing this other thing and they're getting into it, and you're like, why are we all here? This is a really weird bunch. But I feel like we all clicked immediately, we all got along, we all went on that walk together, that nature beautiful walk we went on together, and then we kind of were all like, they actually curated this really, really well. Like they picked people from all different walks of life in our industry in different times and whatever. And I feel like it's a really good group to be like, you know, they're looking for feedback. That's what they want us for. They want us for feedback. So I don't know. I feel like it was a really good group.
Yeah, I really love everyone in this group, and I've learned something from each person.
Definitely.
Everyone's shops are so different. Everyone's experience is different. How they got started, what they did before screen printing. There's so many nuggets to be taken from this.
And what was it? We had, me and Steven flew to Texas, and you had to fly to Texas because your flight got messed up.
On the way back from Honduras,
it
was Miami to Texas, but there's a delay in Miami.
And then we talked you into coming to the show.
The Rocktoberfest thing. Yeah, I missed my flight out of Texas and had to stay an extra day. But no,
you had a good time.
Oh yeah, I mean it was the first time I saw like made labs and printed threads, and even just wandering around through that shop. I mean it's crazy because you get to see all of these other ways that people. I mean, printed threads is a lot bigger than us. And it was like, oh, we're doing similar things that they're doing. Oh, we could be implementing this.
And you missed it yesterday, but we went to Blake's shop,
Money
Money
Merch.
And that was an awesome shop. The things he's doing with jumbo prints and fulfillment and stickers, hang tags.
And he likes to do a lot of like thicker, heavier streetwear.
Yep.
But we got some shop packs from him, and he said, like he does this little thing with ink when things are
pipette
coming.
bags.
Yeah.
What's he do?
Pipette bags.
Like when you're icing a cake, those little bags.
Yeah.
They're like really tiny ones, but he has ink in those sitting at the end of the dryer. So if
there's something messed up,
Yeah,
he
it's
can
like
have
a
it.
lint.
Yep.
Instead of like my crew uses a business card and
Yeah, I've seen people do that. They'll just take a Ziploc baggie and cut that little tip off of a corner, and then they'll just tap it.
You know, it's just had like stations of all these little pipette bags. And he said here in Orange County, that's normal. All the shops do that.
That's
And
funny.
everyone that went to his shop, none of us had seen it
Yeah, we
before.
had that quite a while ago. I think it was like a shop hack where someone said that, and I was like, "Yeah, that's perfect. That makes perfect sense."
Yeah.
Because the problem is a lot of people don't think about, like, oh, I have a hole. How do I get it laid down nicely on that hole? It's kind of like, oh, take a business card and like kind of scratch at it and like get it. But yeah, the whole like cake kind of thing seems like a great idea.
I feel like learning a little bit from everybody. I have a system where I can make my shop more efficient from the start instead of like learning it as I go. You know, because I've learned from being a printer what I want to do to make it easier for my shop and my people that's going to work for me. But from learning from all the people in the BOD, it gives me like a game plan to really attack it. You know?
Yeah, for sure. That's something that we've noticed. Like, you know, I've always been open in things and talking to people online, and then starting the podcast thing and all that. It's kind of like, for me, it's total selfishness. Like, I use it as therapy once a week. I talk to Andy and I get out my feelings of like, this employee wronged me here, or I did this thing and whatever. And we talk about it live, but we also get to talk to all these other shops. And then we get opportunities where like, you know, someone's like, oh, we want you to come check out our shop. And then I work stuff with like M&R and all these other things. I get to go to all these other shops, and it's like, yeah, they want me there to talk, but it's also like, I'm learning like crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm talking to people like you guys right now and all this other stuff where it's like, you do something different than I do. We might do the exact same thing, but you do it slightly different.
Yeah.
And then you're like, this is how I do it. And I'm like, dude, why did I not think of that?
Yeah.
And it's always the stupidest, littlest thing of like, oh, I use this spray bottle, or this chemical I've been buying for $200 a gallon. Oh, it's actually like Dawn soap or something. And you're like, dude. It's just stuff like that. That's like,
I keep plugging your Discord, and Christy's like, "Are you getting sponsored to like plug the Discord?"
Yeah,
I was like,
you need to give
the
him a
Shirt Show
kickback.
Discord has been awesome.
but that's the thing is, it's another thing where we were like, well, I was telling Andy for a long time, I was like, I know we have a website, but like, no, who goes to the website? There's no reason to go there. I was like, I really just want to have maybe a blog or something where it's like, we can get all of our friends who are like really smart in certain things and just be like, write an article on this, so like you could go there or whatever. And then that turned into, Tony was all about Discord, and we were like, we would love to do that. Let's do Discord. Let's double down on that. And now it's like the same thing, where you can go there now and everything's searchable.
Yeah.
It's like, here's screen printing, embroidery, whatever. Here's different equipment manufacturers. And then you can go there and you can just chat in the group and be like, I had this coffee in the morning. And then you can also search like M&R Press or Anatole Press things, and it's all in there, and we're all here to help each other. The biggest thing is, don't be a dick or we're going to kick you out. Well, that was the thing too. Like, back, me and Lee started that Rogue Printers group on Facebook a long time ago, because one night we were having a conversation and we were like, it'd be really cool, because we were talking about how Facebook is, everyone's just an asshole.
Yeah.
You could ask a basic question. You could be like, what does this fit on this tee? And someone just be like, fits your mom. And it's just like, it has nothing to do with what I asked. I'm just trying to get a good answer. And then we were talking about that. We're like, you know, all these Facebook groups, there's just people out there to just poke at you and be like, what a noob, blah, 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 blah. So then we made the Rogue group, and then I told, our rule from the beginning was like, if you're a dick, if you're not going to be helpful in the situation, you're not going to be part of the community, you're out.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with the Discord. It's like, and we've done it multiple times. We've kicked people out. It's like, don't be a troll, be good. Let's all like help each other grow in this industry, or we're going to kick you out, and we kick you out.
That's something really cool, because like in my area, print shops do not get along.
Yeah,
like,
same here.
it's headbutting, and I know like you have friends here that are down the road.
Yeah, we have a really good community in Charlotte. Outside of Charlotte, I meet with printers at least twice a month, and we all have lunch, and we talk about what's going on in our shop. If someone needs extra help, we help. If you run out of ink, a certain color, call.
And that's
Everybody's
what
got each other's back, because there's enough business for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I would love to like cultivate in central Iowa, and I think we're getting there.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of older generation, like the old guard that is like standing by and it's like, no.
But
this
think
is how you
about
print.
how slow progress is.
True.
When you don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
Everyone's scared that they're going to steal each other's customers.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, how many times have you talked to somebody else and you realize no one gives a shit about someone else's customer?
No.
We just want to figure out how to better our product
Yeah.
to get better quality or whatever. But we all talk all the time now. And it was funny, we had a discussion in Vegas with Tyler because I'm in multiple text groups with like some of my favorite printers and friends and all this other stuff. And it's like, you know, he had a meeting at a manufacturer and he was like, hey, I'm in these groups with these people that like, you know, and like really respect or whatever. And we share everything.
Yeah.
He's like, this quote you're giving me right now, I'm going to share with them and be like, what do you think? What should I do? And they were just like, what? You share things with each other? And it's like, yeah, we share things with each other. That's how we get shit done.
Yeah.
That's how we make sure we're not getting screwed over. That's how we make sure we're getting the best deal or we're doing the right thing. And it's like, they say that whole, I don't know, that's raising tides things or whatever, but it's kind of like we all share stuff and stuff gets done so much faster and we all get better printers, we get better at technology, we get better at whatever. And then it's not that the customers, it's that the industry finally catches up to technology and we're all just really good and it sets the bar.
Yeah.
Like me and you might have great shops and you say something, I instantly want to be competitive and be like, my shop's gonna be fucking better than your shop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that I want to steal your customer, I just want to bury you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the fun of it. You know, we all talk shit to each other and have fun, but we're all great friends. We do anything for anybody. You know, I could get sick and I would know a million printers that would be like, I'll take over all your work. Let's get it done. Let's print it, you know, whatever. And it's like, that's what this is all about. And, you know, it's awesome to see a company like Gildan do the board. And it's like, how many other companies do you know that are like, hey, let's bring in a group of people. Let's do this whole experience for them. Let's show them everything, like behind the scenes, you know, everything. And let them pick it apart, and then that just makes them better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's basically what you're saying. With your community, they're getting a community from us.
Right.
We become their ambassadors. We become their mouthpieces for everything that they're doing, and it helps create that community wider. You know?
I think also it gives them a more like micro look into the industry instead of, I think they've been very focused on the macro of we have to have this many shirts. They don't really
like they said too, is their focus wasn't necessarily the end user. It was, well, not that it wasn't, but the way businesses, you know, they're giving it to the distro, which is the distro is giving it to us. They never hear our voice at the end. So now they're like, we can't do that. We need to hear, if we want to stay relevant and we want to stay in people's faces, we need to hear from the actual people that are using our garments or selling our garments, whatever. So I give a lot of respect. Like I said, we've all used Gildan for years. Everybody, any one of us. It's, you can't not. Everyone in the industry has. But for them to step up and be like, you know, we're still here, obviously doing our thing. They could just shut up. They could be one of those companies. They're already so big and so out there that they could just be like, you're going to use our stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But to kind of step out and be like, hey, this is what we're going to do is it's really awesome for them. Cool. Is there anything else you guys are excited about with the show here, or anything you want to see, or anything you want to do?
We've been looking at new equipment. So we're getting a CTS machine. We've already purchased a CTS machine to do it, but it was cool because we got to see one run for the first time here.
Right.
We're looking at a new Anatol press, Anatol autocoder, and so it's like exciting to be here. My sister and I have started doing something called the State of the T-Shirt Address with our company, basically like spelling out where we want to go in the year.
Right.
And so this year it's 3 E's: education, equipment, and efficiencies. And so being here with our management team has been cool.
You should talk about efficiencies on the Discord. There's a lot of people on there that are going to lean you real hard.
Oh yeah.
He's selling that to everybody, the lean channel.
Oh yeah, sold it to you, whatever.
It's amazing. It's really, really good though. Like that's another thing with getting with people is learning the efficiencies. Like it's insane. And there's some people out there that go way in the weeds, but they figured it out for us.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's pretty awesome.
That's what I'm here and excited for. So
I mean, for me, I'm looking for new vendors that I can get to send stuff to Atlanta, you know, from the West Coast, because I use Broder and a lot of the basic vendors, but I want to find something that's more unique for like the fashion side, and just more equipment that I feel like I can afford to upgrade little by little.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so for me, it was exciting because I actually got to bring my head screen printer to the show. She's been with me for almost 4 years.
I saw her following you around. last night, and I kept high-fiving you, and then she was right behind you, and I was like, come on.
Yeah.
And she's like,
She was a little nervous to be here, but it's so nice to be able to show an employee and open the world of screen printing, and what we do in the shop. It can get so mundane sometimes. So to be able to bring someone here, show them everything there is, the new equipment that I look at, and I'm trying to say, well, this is our goal, this is where we're going to go in a year from now. But to kind of open her eyes to what's possible and what we can be doing in the future.
I didn't even think about that. Like, none of our management team is, like, they're pretty new to the industry. One of them came to us from bridal. One of them came to us from a newspaper. And so I'm sure this is, like, kind of overwhelming for them.
And Betsy used to be an ICU nurse,
it is, and it isn't. Like, the thing I've learned with it, and I've taken my crew out to, like, other shops or to stuff like this, is it really opens their eyes to, like, my boss isn't just full of shit all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you could come to them and be like, we need to be doing this, or we should do this, and this is the next technology. And they're like, fuck off. Like, this works for me. This is what I'm going to do, and whatever. And then you bring them to something like this, and they're like, oh my God, he's right. Like, we need to catch up, or we need to do this, or, he's not lying.
I'm looking forward to bringing my family with me to the next one. Like, after coming to this, I've always heard about ISS, and I always go to the ones that's local around me. They did ISS in Atlanta one year. But I want to like make a schedule of conferences and stuff so I can start taking my family and like grooming them into this whole industry. Like,
ISS is cool for stuff like that too, because you can do the seminars in the morning.
Yeah.
You can be like, hey, you want to, we used to do that. We used to look at the schedule, like, I don't know, whatever, 10 years ago, and be like, oh, you're in sales. You're going to go do all these sales ones.
Yeah.
And you're in embroidery or whatever. Go do these ones and whatever, and art and whatever. That helps out for a while. Yeah, for sure. It's really good. Anything you guys want to add? You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
You good?
I'm going to ask you some quick takes real quick. Personal questions.
I was really looking forward to this.
I feel really sad that Andy's not here to do it with me, but I wish him the best. Give me a second. I'm going to pull these up. All right. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Sunset.
Sunrise.
There, I knew you were the early riser, me or not.
She's so freaking cheery all the time. She's like, I love sunrise.
I get plenty of sleep and I drink all the water.
Oh my gosh, I bet you have all your serotonin too.
Yeah.
Pizza, tacos, or sushi?
Pizza.
Tacos.
Pizza.
Sushi. Pizza? All right. Slots or blackjack?
Blackjack.
Blackjack.
Roulette.
We're all
wasn't
roulette.
an option, Christy.
That was the right answer, though. Yeah, exactly. Anything you're reading, watching, or listening to that you really like right now? Don't say Yellowstone.
Don't say Yellowstone.
Everybody said Yellowstone.
Reading, watching, or listening to. I just was listening to 2 Second Lean, the audiobook, and that's been good.
I've been back on some Game of Thrones stuff. I've been kind of going back on that.
We were talking about that last time we were together.
Yeah, I went back and read The Fire and Blood that just came out. One of my friends is an illustrator in the book, so I just want to go back and see that.
That's awesome.
But I've been watching The Last of Us. That's got me.
Oh, is it good?
It's good.
It's really good.
It's
yeah,
I have it downloaded.
Dude, it was a kick. It was a kick in the nuts.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, just for the transition of the beginning of the game to what they brought on screen, I got a good.
I've never played the game, but watching the show, I'm just like, oh, this guy and his daughter, and then it's like, oh, it's the guy, and then being a dad, it's kind of rough.
I've been reading a lot lately. Never Finished by David Goggins was a little aggressive for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Atomic Habits. I've been rotating.
Are you learning from those books?
Yeah. Am I implementing from those books?
Are you a
Maybe
highlighter
not.
person?
Yeah, I like to highlight and then snap on my phone and then like go back and read.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But paper books, not audio books.
Oh, you don't audio?
No.
Okay. Where are you going for dinner?
I hope to be on the Rock Boat.
Everybody's boating it tonight?
Marcotte's supposedly getting us wristbands.
Okay. So pasta and chicken and salad?
Sure.
I got to get some street tacos at least once.
I don't know what they're having for food, but last time I was on the boat, I think that's what they had.
Tacos?
No, was pasta and chicken and salad.
Cool. I'm going to Vegas when I leave here.
Oh, yeah, you're going on vacation.
So everybody pick a number for me to put
7.
money on.
Oh, yeah.
7.
7.
I'll give you 9.
9.
27.
Cool.
Okay, 27 will win. Thanks, guys, for doing this with me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
It's our boy Mitch. Bye, guys. See you.
All right. Thanks, man.
Leave it in the chair. Tell us about your guys' experience with it, I guess, because what didn't you have that we have? The video crew?
Yeah,
We
I
didn't
think
go-
that one
yeah.
of the most exciting parts of being on the BOD was the trips to Honduras
Right.
and Barbados. And it would have been nice, you know, to post selfies as much as we could.
Because you guys can take pictures of anything, right?
Yeah, and then we got to see how exciting it was through your guys' experience.
But I think all of us didn't like the video crew. I mean, not that we didn't like the video crew. We just didn't like that we had to do things multiple times. Because we would do something and they're like, we didn't get a good shot, do it again.
Right, react.
And then we would have to like walk through a room. And it wasn't that they were trying to just get us doing everything. It's that the idea was to make like a video at the end to show people the whole process and what we were doing. So I get it. Like I get from doing the podcast and other video stuff and the M&R stuff that it's just like, let's get a better shot. But it was kind of like, we just want to walk around.
So I think we had the more organic version.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard knowing because we didn't get to see and feel each other's how it went. But I think I would have given up some of that organic feel to have content that I could actually then utilize and share. Right? Like we later on were given some photos that were okay at best to then share after. And like no one wants to share it after. Like when you're in the moments when you want to share it, right? So I think it's something that with the evolution of the board, they'll find better ways to provide it. Because being in that facility in Honduras was eye-opening. It changed my mind in so many different ways, and it kind of like brought my career to like an apex of like this is.
That's exactly what I said. I was like
singular point.
Being in the industry for so long, and then finally getting to see like literally the whole process. And you wouldn't get that. It's not like we could go anywhere and just be like, show us how you make everything.
Right.
We had mentioned that if we would have had that in-person experience early on, that would have been better. And you guys had that in-person experience like in the beginning of your tenure on the board. So if we would have had that, we would have gotten to know each other. Now we're like, I mean, we're buddies. You know, we love each other.
Right.
Like if we would have had that, I think we would love each other even more.
It was a little bit different too because we had like a 2-year because like COVID still was a thing.
Just had the extended
so
version.
it was
we were only meeting each other through
Zooms.
Through Zoom,
and there
yeah.
was never any side conversations to really get to know each other. It was just based on how we were responding to discussions and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had a lot of like shit talking bus trips.
Nice.
But did you guys do Zoom meetings?
We've done one.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
We had like
that is crazy.
a series of Zoom. It was cool. We got to meet the CEO of
that
Gildan,
was really
which was bonkers.
Yeah.
And like he was pretty candid in the conversation. And I mean, Kevin, Summer, I love them as humans all around.
I love both of them so
They're
much.
just
They're
so awesome.
Seriously.
Yeah, I've got like career crushes on both of them.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
like
the funny part about it is like you go do the facility and they're at work and you could tell they're like, I can't say this. But then when we leave and then you talk so much shit to each other.
Yep. It's fun bringing like, I don't know, being out of it for so long or like just printing on Gildan shirts and not like being in it, right? It loses some soul. And like actually seeing the soul that is still alive and present within, it did change my perspective a lot on them. I think that was one of the biggest takeaways is like, I'm now a little bit more proud to wear a Comfort Colors shirt, which I'm currently wearing.
That's my current favorite. It's the 1717.
Yeah.
And I
have
mean,
one on right now.
American Apparel's a staple for my print shop. Like
We talked a lot about that yesterday about how whatever it was 10 years ago, it's like everybody was like American Apparel. They wouldn't even know what the shirt was. They were like, I'm here, I'm starting a clothing line, I have to use 2001.
Right. It was just a name that everybody wanted. And
Right.
they still do, kind of. They don't know.
And
the
I'm
whole
glad they
story
brought
of
it back.
everything. Yeah, me too. I think that having this experience has been so wonderful. Like you were saying, it elevated everything. And it's like if you just can get that one step forward that you try, like we all do the same thing every day. You know, we all get up, we go to work, it's the same thing every day. But now it's like, you know, when you have your coffee in the morning, now it's like having a cappuccino instead. It's like something elevated a little bit that Gildan really is a great company. The people are wonderful. and we never knew this. We never knew this about them. We never knew about the sustainability. They don't even talk.
I didn't know about any of that either.
They never talked about
I didn't know it at all until I got there.
Like damn, like look what you guys are doing. And so I think like in the beginning, I see like maybe they're going to do the BOD more of like as just like kind of like a fluff kind of a thing. But the fact that they actually listen to all of us,
that was what shocked me the most. Cool. And that Matt kind of told me about that before I went. He was just like, you know what? Like I was like, what am I going to expect with whatever? And he was like, dude, honestly, they like legit listened to like what we had to say and kind of tore them apart a little bit. And like they took advice. For, like
I was shocked. I mean, you know how it is. People have opinions about everything, right? Especially in this industry.
But it's one thing for them to be like, oh, good feedback, and they're like, as soon as you leave the room, they're like, we're not doing that.
I mean, I just yesterday morning I woke up and saw they released the new commercial with like
that was awesome.
And
yeah,
like
the guy jumping out the window
a couple months ago, they gave us the storyboard, and we gave him feedback. We're like, nope, great, nope.
They listen.
And I just pleasantly surprised, like, holy shit. They actually listened to what we said.
Yeah.
And I think they killed it. When they've got that kind of money and that kind of sway in the industry, like they don't need to listen.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But they made it. They're making a choice.
That's the take I took.
And I was like, that says so much to me about what they're trying to do. The ship is so big. It's not like they can just like turn left and turn right when a ship's that big. But when there's intention, that's what really matters to me.
I think the biggest thing for me was like, yeah, they're bringing us here. They, you know, in your back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, they just want to like schmooze us and have us do this, whatever. And you go and you do the thing, and they show you like you ask any question you want on the floor, they would answer it for you. I just said, hey, can I sew a shirt? And they were like, sure. And I sat down and like made a shirt basically. Oh,
I think I got
horribly
that one.
messed up a shirt.
That one.
Yeah, and then.
The string.
We went and sat down at the board table, and I think the biggest thing that clicked for me was that we sat down and me and Steven just started saying like, you know, Kevin was like, be honest, tell us exactly how you feel. And we both kind of ripped into him a little bit about certain things. And the first thing that clicked with me was they wrote it down. They weren't just like,
they wrote it down with a pen and paper.
Down.
Right. Remember that? There was one of the guys.
Oh, a couple of the guys. Ron was writing things down.
Yes.
Kevin was constantly writing things down.
Yep.
It was not just to placate us. It's actually to listen and then make adjustments where and when they can to help fit the needs and to, again, bridge that gap that might have already started to exist of like the actual people doing it. Not just the big guys that are 10 auto shops, but the ones that are doing it day in and day out and that we equal those big shops too.
Yeah, planting seeds, you know, they're going to be big shops someday, or they'll just be a really awesome shop that's doing what they want to do.
And advocates are advocates.
Yeah.
Right. I remember there was an early board meeting that we had where they asked our feedback on the Long Beach trade show booth that Gildan was going to have. And it was very stale and it was just like full of displays and standard displays. And then we tore it apart.
Right.
And they gave feedback. And they're like, look at the booths now.
I know.
American Apparel, Comfort Colors. It's like engaging.
The Comfort Colors one looks like a commercial. Like it looks like.
It makes me happy.
Right.
I've never wanted to be in a pink room so bad.
I know.
Playing with pillows.
It's just I'm like, washing machine.
I feel like that's like also a direct result of like us giving feedback and like seeing results with our own eyes.
Their displays here are so overly creative that it is just I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it the American Apparel one? Kind of looks like an art gallery.
Yeah, I mean, and Tony it was on the board too. Who I love, Tony from Ministry Print Shop. Like, yeah, he made this.
The eyeball tee.
Which has got glow in the dark. It's got puff. It's got 6 different screens in this. It looks like 6 different screens to make the shirt. But yeah, he's in there with Aaron Draplin, and it's awesome.
We talked to Aaron and him yesterday. It was like. Both of them warned us before, like, we're really long-winded. And I was like, well, let's just do it.
Tony is very long-winded. I a lot of the conversations were like Tony going for like 30 minutes about not changing the G5000. Right. And then it'd be like, then it'd be me talking for like the next 30 minutes.
I felt so bad.
And then they would try to get a word in edgewise.
What was the change with the 5000?
Oh, they changed the stitching seam, little things.
He was going to have a conniption.
Oh yeah, he almost his eye was twitching. He was like, "That's a staple. You can't mess with the staple."
He just keeps doing this every time.
Yep.
It's like, just don't change the 5000.
They're like, "Well, we already did." He's like, "No." They're like, "We did it 6 months ago." He's like, "Oh, never mind."
What were some of the other things that you guys asked them at the table, like without them prompting you? What did you say that you would want changed or tweaked?
Oh, definitely the women's sizes of the women's garments because they were way too small, and also the easy print sounded like a not a high end brand, but it felt like a high end shirt. So
Right.
like make it more elevated. They did the tags, the color of the tags to like match. Let's match what
Right.
everybody else is doing that are more premium looks.
The 64 Easy Zero, which was the Easy Print 6400, loved how it printed. I was like blown away at how it printed.
Yeah.
Some feedback that we had was you need side seams.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't feel as premium without side seams. I understand it doesn't change the silhouette, but as a printer, I prefer a side seam. I can load much
You can
quicker. I
hold
think
it,
most
hold it, yeah.
printers can load quicker and get center quicker. And there's a premium selling price when you got side seams. So now they got the new 980 Easy Print that is a side seamed equivalent that they're releasing. We were able to. My shop was able to screen print one of the samples in the Gildan booth. You did the DTF on that one, right? Another shop with the DTG. So you can see the quality of that on the brand new products about to be released. We got to test those out. So I mean, they literally in our term, we gave feedback on a product, and they then sent us that product that they made based off that feedback.
Right. Did you guys have to do print samples also? Did they send you shirts?
They sent us shirts, yeah, to play around with. I think we were supposed to go over that on the next meeting or whatever we're going to do. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to play around with some of the new stuff.
Yeah.
I really want to do some samples at my shop with the new hoodie, the soft style hoodie.
Oh yeah, that's a nice hoodie.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a lovely
Yeah.
print. Yeah.
So what do I have looking forward to? Because I've done Honduras, I've done a couple Zooms. Haven't gone to Barbados.
Barbados should be better for you. We had a tropical depression happening, and there was something that I learned called sargastic sea.
Sounds like something me and you do.
I know, it does sound like something that we would do. Where like the beaches were just covered in algae and seaweed. So it was like raining and thunderstorming, and the beaches were just disgusting and smelled like rotten fish.
So yeah, just like something
just like yeah. So it was fun seeing the facility there and like getting. We got some nice tours, but they had some other things planned, like a catamaran or something that like got canceled, like all these things. But like honestly, getting to hang out with the homies that we became super tight, like just in the hotel pool, throwing back some drinks.
Yeah.
Like this is now we're like a family.
Then we couldn't leave.
Oh, then we got delayed an extra day because of flights being canceled. So it turned into like its own fun adventure, and we all got a lot closer and tighter in that.
We saw Rihanna's childhood house.
We saw where Rihanna grew up.
Broke in.
Yeah, I did. And I was like, where's she at? Riri, she wasn't there.
Where's Matt?
Yeah. We also drove by like her compound that we weren't allowed to go into.
Right. We got nauseous with the car rides.
Oh, the car rides are bonkers.
To the brewery.
So I have looked
Mount
forward to
Gay
that
rum.
because I get super car sick.
Oh, you're gonna blow chunks all over.
Yeah, those roundabouts
Yep.
there, and
Yep.
yeah, and then you're going to the brewery.
Or can I drive the bus?
Yeah. You guys got to see North Carolina too. We didn't get to see North Carolina. We didn't get to see the cotton
I was just
processing.
saying in the last one we just did that was one of my favorite parts.
Well,
maybe we'll
cool.
Yeah,
we'll
we need to
just
go.
Like in all honesty, like I said,
We'll write a letter.
Honduras was amazing, but like I think my favorite was North Carolina.
Really?
Wow.
Well, we'll eventually try to see if we can smooth our way into a North Carolina trip.
I think it wasn't necessarily I mean, obviously going to Honduras was really cool, like different life thing. But like North Carolina was just so impressive at like the efficiencies and the engineering and like raw cotton being made into this end product. It was fucking awesome.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
Doesn't one of your board members live right near there? Like we
Somebody
can go
does.
crash her house.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We
crash
can
her
we can make it happen. One thing that also
Reunion,
one
North
thing that-
Carolina.
I've seen some social media posts like kind of like throwing some things around, and one thing that really impressed me, and it wasn't by Gildan that did the post, but there's been lots of like rumor mills about like child labor and like illegal labor, and I mean, I was there.
Not happening.
It's not happening.
No.
And like that was one thing that
People
like
were
it
happy.
made me proud to use Gildan products, right? Because I was there, and like, there's no way they could be like, let's go hire
like
1,000 people to come in today and pretend. No, they were working, and they were working hard.
They were
But they were getting they seemed happy. They have a lot of events they're doing. I mean, of course I don't know what it's like being that employee in those shoes every day, but it's not what you would envision.
Again, like we're going to talk about this, and they might not like this or whatever. I don't know if this is the best way for me to word this, but like you hear all these rumors of how this is going to be, this sweatshop, whatever, this whole thing of going there. And then you go there, and I don't want to talk bad about the country, but it's like you're in this like blacked out van going from the hotel to the place, and you're seeing what's around you. Like these homes made of like roofing materials and like people selling stuff in the streets and just like all this stuff. And then you get to Gildan and you go into the gates of going in there, and there's like landscaping and there's like people working everywhere, and they all have nice
outside
clothes
gyms.
on.
There's basketball
they have
courts,
medical. They have
food, free breakfast, free lunch
transportation,
provided,
like all that stuff. And like I said, you go in there and it's beautiful facility, air conditioned. All the manufacturing. They're putting up balloons for people's birthdays and all this other stuff. And that was a story we talked about. We were putting money on them, and they were like, "You don't understand how much money you just put on that balloon." And it's just kind of
crazy.
like, they were all happy, having fun, doing their thing. Yeah, they're at work. Like, not everyone's going to be like, "Oh my God, I love this. It's amazing."
Yeah, but what I noticed about it was that the women had their purses, they had their nails done.
Right.
They weren't like you're saying. Like I expected it not to look like that.
Right. Us as Americans are like, oh, they're going to be in like a canvas bag.
Right.
And it's like, no, they were like Nikes, jeans, hanging out.
Yeah.
ATMs on the property, so they can like if they want to like deposit their checks, they can, not to worry about losing money.
Like I said, I don't know if this is the best way to say this, but it was just kind of like, to me, it seems like, yeah, here we're like, oh, they're sending it away to get like a better wage and all this other stuff, but it's like, the people there are stoked to work there because it's better to work there than selling bananas or whatever in the street.
Yeah,
it's like
or any other places that might not have those working conditions,
right?
And also like the jobs that are provided because not just the jobs they're given, but the other ancillary jobs that are created because of Gildan, the box manufacturers nearby. Like it's a multifold process, and then they're a multi-billion-dollar company. Like there's audits happening.
Yep.
They can't get away with having this wrong labor. So I just want to make sure that any like the myths that are out there. They've been very open and candid with us, and it's definitely not anything that I've seen happening
but you know what,
as part of their ethos or culture or there.
In every city, there's big slums in every city. There's homeless people in every town in America.
I bet there's worse working conditions in the LA district here.
That was something we were talking about this morning at coffee, and it was just kind of like, I don't know, Tony was, I don't know, I want to say Tony, but he was going to different manufacturers in LA to see what was going on, and there was just like shit outside and all this other stuff, and they were talking about it, and I was just in the back. I didn't want to be like Gildan, but it was like they were like, oh, this is a dye house here in LA, and I was just like, that's gross. I saw a real good one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and 3 months later, that water's clear and you can drink it.
Right.
Right.
The biomass, yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I know we're in the Gildan thing, and none of us are here to just the hype fest. We're all real people. It's just like I feel like it was a real eye-opening thing, and I'm really excited that I got to be a part of it and finish this off.
I think it was a great thing that Gildan did to have this BOD because it really opened all of our eyes, and it lets us to tell people about it and to share the experience. And look, we're all loving it. So
right.
Yeah, there's nothing like the relationships that we got from this program. Like in the last year at my shop, we had an order that we couldn't print 10,000 t-shirts, and automatically I went to Rich, who was on the East Coast, and then Matt, who was also on the East Coast, and they were, within days, they were ready to print thousands of shirts for me and then ship it out on time. I looked so good because of these guys,
That's so awesome.
If I didn't have those relationships, we would have been so screwed for this order.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, West Coast, East Coast, Chicago, and like we're all homies. We all talk, and like doesn't matter like what our niche is, where we're at in life, what our shop's doing. Like we're all family now, and it's. I mean, this industry's full of that, and this helps again unite people, ideas, thoughts, and build a better future for all of us.
Yeah.
So we could eat paella together,
Paella, right. Right.
Paella party tonight.
Like, not me. I told you this.
It's true.
What,
Can you come
you're
support me
paella?
anyways? He can't. He'll die.
Oh, from Paella?
I can't have any fish or
No,
seafood.
no, yep.
All right, we'll talk to Amy.
I'll just rub your back.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or that.
Can you bring a sandwich?
I'll bring a ham sandwich in my pocket.
Okay.
That's
keep
cool.
it warm.
right. Obviously. Is there anything you guys want to add, or anything that you saw at the show in general, not Gildan related?
I haven't had a chance to really walk the show too much yet. I'm working with the Printavo folks, Printavo Ink, Soft Gouxel, all them over right here. over in the big rock
Love those
mezzanine
shirts.
atrium they've got, which is it's bonkers. I mean, I just love these shows. It'll bring my business partner for my print shop, Silent Fury, to the show. I'm watching him right now nerd out from Tony from Ministry, like two of my favorite people in life, getting to bridge that together. I think that's what I love about the shows, is like just people building bridges and making friends and sharing ideas. That's all I care about this for.
It's awesome. Yeah. You too?
Well, I just really came here to see if I could buy any equipment.
Nice. She's
No,
in the market.
I'm kidding.
Not
No, I'm looking. I think, other than the Gildan stuff, this was really like the main thing, was
Right.
to see everybody. And I'm also speaking in a little bit about women in printing with OmniPrint.
Nice.
And
Hell yeah.
I love working with that company also. They're suppliers of the equipment that I have.
Right.
And so that relationship also it's a wonderful relationship. I look at it like a strategic partnerships. So not having a partner, like you guys are all my partners, which I really, really cherish that. I think that seeing some of the heat presses and the direct-to-film films and the
So
different
much
inks
DTF
and
this
so,
year.
So much stuff that I just want to grab the samples, go back. I moved into a new location, so I have a bigger showroom. To be able to show that to people that haven't seen it is great. So yeah, it's a great. We haven't even dabbled into.
I know. I feel like we don't
the
have
depths
enough time.
of the show yet.
I had specific goals of finding the heaviest t-shirt on the floor. T-Style down that way has a 9-ounce t-shirt. I think that was what I was here to find. I was also looking for hoodies without drawstring, and Independent and AS Color both have options coming out soon. So check. And then hanging out with my BOD fam.
Right.
Like, what else am I out here to do than to see these faces?
Right.
Even
There's better
this
faces
face.
out
Even
there.
this face.
Yeah, I can tell you.
I was like, wait, this face?
There's a lot
of better ones to look at.
I spent time with Meryl yesterday just going around talking to our reps. So it's just networking, relationship building, and finding heavy teas.
And it was my birthday.
Oh, yes.
Really? Happy birthday.
Wait, it was your birthday?
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Yesterday?
Thursday, yeah.
Well,
The whole week
do we
is
need
my
to sing "Happy Birthday"
We'll
on
have
the
a cake tonight.
Okay.
And a ham sandwich.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Meryl. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Cha-cha-cha.
Let me make a wish. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Sorry for everybody that had to
And
listen to
I brought
that.
my husband with to the show too.
Oh,
so that's
nice,
good.
nice. All right, real quick.
What do we have in here?
We getting Tony in here.
All we did was talk
There he
about
is.
you the
There
whole
he
time.
is.
Tony
We
Baloney.
did talk about you quite a bit.
Hey, Tony.
Quite a bit. Bring it on in. Bring it on in.
Laptop.
There it is. There it is. There. Oh, there. It's extra
There
fun.
you go.
Here we are. Here we are.
Can we get a photo?
How do we were all asking, how do we get this shirt that we
Yeah.
can
How do we get that?
You gotta. Soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. We did a run already, and I think that they just ran through them.
Yeah.
So
None of us got one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know. What's up with that? We're gonna fix that.
Okay.
We'll fix that.
Yeah. We need you.
Okay.
How many screens are in that?
6.
6.
Whites. Whites.
Nice.
Size small. Size small.
I know they.
All I'm happy about is that they changed the G5000.
Uh-oh.
Snap. There.
You see the smoke coming out of his ears.
It's okay. It's okay. Embrace change, I suppose.
How now that you're here, you were already in one of these. How has your live printing experience been?
It's been great. It's awesome. Okay, so here's some okay, cool. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be super real. Am I sitting on your hand? Oh, those aren't pillows.
Really pointy in the middle.
So being a screen printer, it seems like you're just problem solving, right? So I'm in here, doing the podcast with Aaron, and we're in here, we're doing the thing, and I get a text, my phone is blowing up, and it's Madeline up at the American Apparel booth. She's like, "Yo, the dryer's not working," and I'm like, I'm over here like, oh yeah. So anyway, like we're cool, right? Like we're playing it super cool. Jet over there, to figure out what's going on. And I'm up under there. I'm like figuring it out and everything. And, you know, like going over to the techs and, hey, can you help me out? They're busy and everything like that. And, you know, shout out, you know, Ryanette, they came out here. We're using their silver press for our live print gigs.
What were you using for a dryer?
A Vastex, the D100.
The D100?
And in transit, it kind of just like the
Did it blow a
wires-
fuse?
No, it wasn't a fuse. It was the heat control knob.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, you know, it's just like I've encountered that before. You know, we were at MTV at Viacom Studios in Times Square, get our equipment, and like the heat knob is just busted. Right.
I've had
How do
that
we figure
before.
this? What do we do? Like, you know, you just do a hardwire.
Yeah.
Right. So we're up in the booth, hardwiring it in, and just getting it done. It's all good.
Wow.
Heat it back up. Nobody knew.
Right.
And then like we have X amount of shirts to print in a certain amount of time, and I'm like, oh man, like we're behind. We were down for like an
But then
hour
you went into
more,
crank mode.
right? But then at the end of the day, you know, they're coming over and they're like, where are all the shirts? Like we're ahead of schedule.
Right.
So it's like it's we're here. I'm like, it's great. We're having a great time. We're doing all this. Yo, man, like that was stressful.
Right.
We fixed it. And then in hindsight, it's like, that was fun.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there was a challenge.
The pressure.
It wasn't just, you know, and then figuring it out and getting it through it. Like, that's what I really appreciate about the work that we do is the creative problem solving. There's at every turn, there is an opportunity to solve a problem.
Now, will you tell Matt what you want for Christmas? Or?
Yeah, what do you want for Christmas?
Sound and Fury t-shirt, size medium.
I'll make Mike print it.
I love Matt. We went to what was that?
Marshall's thing.
I missed you guys. I was there
Yeah,
that
you
weekend.
were in town. You
was
stayed
that?
like up at my gym too, randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came out for the.
I have a brain fart right now.
Me too.
It was Chicago, and it was
I stayed
it
right
was
by the
awesome.
Rise
It was
and
awesome. We stayed at Matt's wonderful house. I felt like part of the family. It was an amazing experience. I love his dog.
All the cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Only
yeah.
in the bedroom.
Right.
All I had to do was just be like water, and it like you know like the water
His hand came
like
out from under the door.
like the iRobot thing came out with the water, and I was like, lights. The lights came on. Netflix, Seinfeld. I want to go to sleep now. And it's like, shh. No, but it was great.
We'll be there soon, Matt.
We'll come next
This service sounds amazing.
My house, I got an extra room for screen printers. So when homies are in town, they can crash in the extra room. Just hit me up.
Oh, Tony, the shoes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Christine
The
sent me these.
Zarface Saucony collab
Yeah.
fulfilled
got the
by
fancy
Midnight
ones.
Supply Company.
Yeah, it was dope.
Nice.
Oh, I'm rocking these. I was like, are you serious? Get out of here.
Cool.
Yo, BOD is the place to be.
Oh, I like that.
We
New
need to write
shirts.
that
Like
marker underneath that right there.
Yeah.
Trademark, TM.
Yeah, BOD is the place.
BOD.
I got
Place to be.
Say yes to the invoice. I got you.
Place to be.
Right. When I wear
Get
my
that tattoo
BOD
on your
shirt
neck.
at home, they
Place
see
to
the
be.
bod, They're like, oh.
All right, quick takes. Tony, you already did these. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Sunrise.
Because you're up early?
What?
Because you're up early?
Yes.
All right.
Sunrise.
Because you're up early too. All right.
I'm a night owl.
Pizza, tacos, or sushi?
Sushi.
Sushi.
Oh my god. I
Yes.
chose Sushi over
Okay.
pizza.
Slots or blackjack?
Slots.
Slots.
Roulette though.
Blackjack.
Roulette?
Roulette, ideally.
Roulette.
Roulette's where it's at. Anything you're reading, watching, or listening to right now that you really like?
White Lotus.
The second one?
Yeah. Finished.
Oh, I hated it.
Oh, you
I
did?
gave up.
I'm halfway through.
Rich people and their stupid problems don't matter to me.
That's what it is.
The best part about White Lotus, though, is there's not a character you like.
So why watch it?
They're all horrible.
They're all
humans.
bad human beings. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no character that you're like rooting for.
Yeah, but it's just rich people and
Alfie.
made up problems. I
You
don't
know
need that.
Alfie? Season 2.
The
The innocent boy that gets turned,
Oh, yeah.
that gets corrupted.
I'm halfway through, so don't ruin
Oh, sorry.
it for me. Okay.
He doesn't get corrupt.
The NFL playoffs, but I'm missing him today.
Oh, how was your game last
There's a
night?
game today.
I know. Too.
We'll watch it at our house.
The Lakers won. It was amazing. Like at the end too.
sure it's
It was rad. But I didn't have this question. Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Because it's related to what you just asked, right? So I'm currently watching Last Chance U season 1. It's on the basketball.
Yeah.
Like I want to go to East LA College and just like see what's good. And then the book that I'm reading is How to Coach Youth Basketball for Dummies. That's my current reading. That's my current watching. Yeah, that's what's up.
Nice.
I got nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, I'm honestly right now what I'm trying to learn more on is APIs. So I'm learning how GraphQL and APIs work because
Asian Pacific Islanders?
that's it. I want to learn more about it. No, so for development, how to make software talk to other software through APIs and trying to kind of build that muscle a little bit more on
for your other business.
I'm literally
yes for and to help all businesses.
Matt, what is your other business? And what does it do?
Which other one?
The programs.
Mine or the one I work for?
Not the one you work for.
So DecoFlow.
Yes.
So I've got
what does that do?
I've got some plugins that connect to Printavo for some solutions that are not yet in the system. And we've got another one that's free to use to help shops figure out their production rates, timing. A lot of shops I work with, they don't know how to figure that out. So I made a software for that. And all the money we've made toward it, none of us, with 3 of us, we've not taken a dime. We're rolling it forward to create more solutions for the industry, to try to just be as helpful as we can in the industry. I just want to learn how to make everything talk to each other, give people that aren't data driven easy data, and that's what I'm trying to achieve with my work with Printavo, my work with my company DecoFlow, wherever I can.
How do they check out DecoFlow?
You can go to decoflow.com, and you can also go to my Instagram, and I've got links on that too, marcotte.inc. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's like the stuff that he's doing, like on that, like so. Like I was like kidding. I was like nerd alert, right? Like, but dude.
Yeah, but we're proud of our friends. They're doing great stuff.
Brain. Oh, I just want to just get in there.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Spoon. And
go on in.
Like,
Will you get the right side? I'll get the left side.
Ooh.
That's like a science.
All right.
I'm telling you though,
show
like
I
for real,
was
like
watching.
no, like, and I was telling Matt, I don't know if it was a text or a DM. I was like, I want to be him when I grow up.
He did. I told him, I was like, I want to be you when I grow up. He's like, I want to be you when I grow up. I'm like, how do we do this?
He's like
we
10
gotta
years younger.
face off. We gotta face off this thing real quick.
Isn't there a TV show that you can like switch?
We could just do face off.
Like wife swap with.
Yeah, you're Travolta for sure.
And then face off.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, thanks guys for doing this. Appreciate
Like
you.
Danny DeVito
Yeah.
and Arnold
Woo!
Schwarzenegger.
Love you, BOD.
Yeah, thank you, BOD.
What was the saying that we're trademarking? VOD.
Place to be.
BOD, place to be. Say yes to the invoice.
Yeah. Say yes.
Charge a PETA fee. Pain in the ass.
Oh, we all do that.
I know. It's only what I learned.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.